Carson-Newman survives at home against Anderson, winning 78-75 to split the season series with the Trojans. Andrew Rogers now here with the head coach of the Lady Eagles, Mike Mincey, on the Eagles Sports Network. Coach, interesting game, high-scoring first half, and then your defense really responded in the second half. You held them to 24% shooting in the second half. And actually, believe it or not, your first win by less than 2 possessions in a game this season. You're only, of 15 wins, your second win by single digits. What did you like about your team's effort? The offense was there first half, despite some turnovers, and the defense really shined in the second half.
First of all, probably looking back at the first half, Anderson's been pressing people pretty effectively and turned them over, and certainly turned us over down there. And I thought our guards and really the whole team in general, did a lot of things that we had asked them to do correctly. And, when opportunities presented itself, we were able to take the baskets that were presented out of it. And I think that's one of the reasons, at least on our end, that the score was so high there in the first half. And we shot it fairly well. They shot it great. They were really hard for us to stop, even though we weren't pressing. I think both teams went zone a time or two. We went zone, got maybe a stop, and then I think Preston hit a 3 over there. So it was, I think it was just 2 good basketball teams battling each other, and both teams were shooting it well. And, it's just a typical Carson-Newman-Anderson game there in the first half. And then third quarter was low scoring for both ways. Us just getting them, 12-9. I don't think either team could really get footing offensively. And it turned into a barn burner down the stretch. And, as always, we're just fortunate to grab a win.
Let's stay with the defense, because there are 2 all-conference players combined to go 10 of 27 from the field. Passmore was 5 of 21. McDowell was 5 of 16. Everything they had to get was difficult. What impressed you about the individual defense, but also the team defense, to limit their 2 best players to inefficient days?
I think everybody in the league knows that guarding one of them's hard, and guarding both of them on the same basketball team is even more challenging. And we've seen them a lot, and it never gets easier to try to get them stopped. Sometimes maybe you can take the credit that we got them stopped, and maybe they just missed a shot that they're capable of making. I'm sure there's a combination of both of those, but you got to try to hold them in check as best you can. I mean, they finished with 16 points, and Passmore had 15. I mean, it's still a good number, and they're up around their average, but obviously there was a lot of misses there. We were able to obviously take advantage of their, I would say, cold shooting to some degree, because they went from 50-something% in the first half and dropped down to 36.7. So it's good that we could do that, and it's also hard to out rebound that basketball team, and they have a good size. Obviously, they've always been a good rebounding team, so I think that was one of our key factors to try to get a victory.
You mentioned the rebounding. Rebounded by 4, one of the best teams in the country in rebounding. Lindsay leads the way with 18. Talk about the rebounding today, but also her presence on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, that's why she played 35 minutes today. She was, obviously, I knew she was going to be big in this basketball game to try to help us rebound, and she was all the games last year, and all the games that we've had her in a Carson-Newman-Anderson matchup. She's been huge, and I'm glad she showed up today. They finished with a double-double, 22 and 18, and certainly 18 rebounds were massive, because every time there was a rebound, most every time, she got floating down the floor one time there. But, she's in there battling, and, you could easily say that her 18 rebounds, or at least the 13 defensive rebounds that she picked up, was another reason why we won the game by 3.
I want to stick with the rebounding before we talk about Michaela Alvey, because they grabbed 16 offensive rebounds, but they only scored 7 second-chance points. What was impressive about your team's ability to force a tough first shot, but then to stay with the possession and not allow those second and third and fourth chances to result in buckets?
Yeah, I don't know some of those whether they came off tie-ups or whatever. It felt like there was quite a few there late where we had secured the rebound and they either tied us up or stole it from us or whatever, and then we challenged them. I mean, honestly, I can't really answer the question. I mean, granted, we had 13 offensive, they had 16. We outscored them 10-7 on second chance. I don't know exactly how those occurred, but if somebody gets an offensive rebound, you can't pout about it. You got to get down and try to get them stopped again. And I mean, if they get 2 offensive rebounds in the same possession, you got to keep playing until either they score or we get to stop.
Playing without your top scorer today, you knew others needed to step up. Michaela Alvey, obviously, terrific again. She's had 2 20-point games. They've both been against Anderson. What did you see from your senior guard? Did have some turnovers probably that were head scratchers at times, but it seemed like when you needed a big play, she delivered.
Yeah, she felt like she had some big games against Anderson last year. We without having Jen services, we were going to rotate the lineup around again, and felt like the right call was giving her first start against a team that felt like she, had some dramatics last year. at home to beat Anderson. It's almost in similar fashion, very close game. And she's always going to give us all she's got. She's going to play us hard. And yeah, there were some turnovers there, but you kind of live with that and get to 10 points. And, the last 3 that she hit there, not sure exactly when it was, but I thought it was really huge to kind of give us a little bit more of a cushion.
How good it is a win like this, knowing you have a week off until your next game next Saturday on the road to bounce back the way you do today. Losing a tough one on the road Wednesday to bounce back, knowing you've got the next week to prepare for Lenore Ryan.
Yeah, I think it would have been a real kick to the stomach, honestly, if the way we lost the game at Mars Hill, and then the turnaround and the way the game was ending. We had a chance to go up there by 8. They go down, score, we turn it over, they go score again. So we kind of put ourselves in a precarious situation to potentially lose the basketball game when it felt like we had it completely in hand. But credit our players. It's really hard there when you advance the ball and they've only committed 1 foul in the quarter and they've got to foul you 4 times. It's hard enough to just get the ball in bounds once, but to try to get the ball in bounds, 4 times and draw foul and not get the tie up and not get it stolen, because we kind of lost a little momentum there. So, I'm proud of the kids. I'm proud of how they responded. Obviously now the week can go much better for us as we have a off on Wednesday or have a week off before we go to LR. This would have been, again, if we'd have lost this game, it would have been detrimental for our basketball team. But I think it's good for them, it's good for all teams, when you can not have the services of your leading scorer and then still pull off a victory. It kind of shows the strength of your roster. And I told them even this morning, when we lost at Anderson, they didn't have Nyman, and she's our leading scorer. And then, of course, today we don't have Jen, and we beat them. So I think it's the kind of things that can solidify teams and just show them what they're capable of, and that it's not just about one person.